On today's episode, we are going to take a quick look at Coinbase. They are set to IPO in the next few hours. On today's episode, what we're first going to do is take a look at their most recent earnings that they provide a few weeks ago. And then we're going to take a quick look at their valuations and different price targets and what it means with the stock. I'm just going to share my overall opinions. Like always, if this is your first time here, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up and let's get started. But before we begin, let's take a listen to today's sponsor. I want to thank the Motley for sponsoring this video. The Motley is a company that provides investing insight and stock recommendations for investors of all skill sets and risk levels. You guys know I love finding new investing tools and resources to help me scout out new growth stocks. And right now I have a discount for one of my favorite services the Fool offers. Through the Motley Stock Advisor services, you get access to a ton of expert stock picks. Every month you'll get 2 new picks that are aimed at growing your wealth and to help you realize your financial goals. Stock Advisor's average stock picks have done amazing returns. If growing your money is something you'd like to do more of this year, you can visit fool.com/Jose Najarro or click on the link below for access to my special offer and decide if the Stock Advisor is right for you. Thanks again to the Motley Fool, and now onto today's video. Alright, so like I mentioned, today we're taking a look at Coin. This is going to start trading today, April 14th, as ticker COIN. Pretty amazing ticker, if I may say so. And the actual time when it's going to go public is still unknown. They tend to go around 11, 12, 1 o'clock Eastern time. So hopefully I can get this video out before then. But first, let's take a quick look at their first quarter earnings for 2021, which they gave to us on April 6th of 2021, so a little bit over a week ago. First thing they mentioned, verified users were 56 million. Monthly transactions were 6.1 million. That's insane. Their trading volume was 335 billion, and they had a total approximate revenue of 1.8 billion dollars. And this is one thing I really wanted to take a look at because it's going to help me kind of find what the expected revenue for 2021 is, and maybe we can take a look at Coinbase at different price targets and compare that price to sales. So net income for the company, it is profitable. It was 730 million to 800 million dollars, and it is also profitable in adjusted EBITDA, which is approximately $1.1 billion. This is insane, right? You can see this company pretty much because it collects most of its revenue from trading fees. It has high margins, right? Total revenue was 1.8 and adjusted EBITDA of approximately 1.1 billion. I can see why investors are super excited about Coinbase. The other thing, right? Even though, like, let's say, right, there is the whole crypto and Coinbase and the whole following behind that. The great thing about Coinbase is you don't have to agree with that following, but you can agree that, hey, this market is expected to continue to grow. The more people are going to continue to buy crypto. With that increase of crypto, the overall business that Coinbase is in is one that you should be bullish on, right? So it doesn't, just because you're bullish in Coinbase doesn't mean you're bullish in the backings behind crypto, if that makes sense. So I think Coinbase is a great play for both the crypto bulls and for those that just believe this market is one that can continue to grow. The next thing I want to take a look at is yesterday, April 13th, this company gave us their fully number of diluted shares that this company is going to have when it IPOs, and the number is 261 million. This fully diluted share count includes shares of common stock, outstanding and all outstanding stock options and restricted stock units, but does not include shares of common stock reserved for future issuance. I do believe that, hey, many IPOs, we see it, they do, especially as things go on, they might kind of pull some shares out of that reserve to increase some form of offering or do some type of second offering. So I do right now, for today's episode, I'm going to be using this 261 million share at the moment. So right now, right, we're seeing Coinbase, right, is expected. It's doing a great quarter, did amazing quarter one. Now they also, during this quarter, they actually gave us different scenarios for their 2021. And obviously Coinbase depends a lot on the volatility of how crypto is doing. If crypto sees a high volatility market, a high bullish run as well, a lot more people are going to be trading. If it's going down, if it's kind of stalemate, might have less transaction, and the less transaction means less revenue. It's very hard for the company to kind of give some form of guidance. So what they ended up doing is giving us different scenarios. A scenario where they're very bullish, a scenario where crypto is pretty flat, and a scenario where crypto actually loses money and reduces monthly transaction users. So I do believe this is a great way about it. Just to keep in perspective, for first quarter of 2021, which was a very, very bullish year for crypto, and I do believe the expansion of Coinbase right now and a lot more companies entering into crypto, I do believe the second quarter is also expected to be a super strong one. So monthly transaction users on quarter one was 6.1. On their full year guidance, they expect monthly transaction units for users for the bullish to be 7 million. I do believe with if they had a strong quarter one, they had a strong quarter two. I do believe this is highly possible based on how numbers are doing. Their mid range is 5.5 million, and this is their neutral thesis, their okay thesis. I think their okay thesis is one they're actually going to beat over, especially if this year was what I said, 6.1. And I do believe this quarter right now is being a strong quarter for crypto as well. So just the average on these two, I think, can really push it up on monthly transaction users being somewhere around over 5 billion. Their low right now is somewhere between 4. And this is the scenario if crypto takes a big hit. Even though I do think that could happen, right? It's a possibility. I don't think this is going to be their monthly transaction users. Just so the next thing I actually wanted to do was find out what some analysts are expecting this company's revenue to be. And I wanted to find something that was around the price level that I believe is achievable, right? So we saw this quarter was $1.8 billion. So in theory, right, if you do 1.8 times 4 quarters, that's about $7.2 billion of revenue this year, right? I believe that might be a little bit too high right now. So I tried to find something a little bit smaller than that just to be a bit conservative. And then there was this analyst I found that gave 2021 expectations of about $5.4 billion in revenue. That to me is okay, right? I feel like it might be a little bit conservative. I can see, especially with quarter one revenue like this and me expecting quarter two to be super strong, that 5.4 is definitely achievable for this company. So now let's take a look at some numbers. So right now, crypto has a reference price of $250, right? With that $250, that actually, and the 261 million outstanding shares, that gives the company a market cap of $65 billion. With $5.4 billion of expected revenue for 2021, price to sales ratio is 12. Obviously, if we can get this at $250, it would be amazing. I don't think we will ever see that price, especially anytime soon. And then here I gave other prices. Up to 450, this company still has a price to sales ratio of about 20, about 21.775 based on that shares outstanding. I think that's still not a bad thing, right? Anything below 450, I personally believe it's not a bad deal, especially how the overall market is growing. One thing I do want to say about Coinbase, right? This is definitely going to be a stock that's going to be super, super volatile. So understand that, hey, your position, if you enter into the stock, you can lose big. There could be a day where the stock price can drop dramatically. So I do want to say to be very careful and understand that buying Coinbase is going to be something that's going to be highly volatile. If you don't have like over 12 months, maybe even over 2-year time span to have in this stock as long-term investments, I don't think it might be a great play. If you have multiple years into this investment, I think the overall results would be good, especially buying anywhere below 450. Once you, and that's because price to sales ratio of 21, I think it's pretty high, right? It is definitely pretty high, but the type of revenue this company can continue to grow for 2022 can really kind of shrink down that price to sales ratio and continue to give until it finally gives you a nice valuation, for example, 2023. After $500, this starts to give you a like mid to high 20s. I think this is the point where, hey, this is where probably only the big bulls should probably enter. Ones that are really, really bullish in the overall Coinbase thesis and the overall crypto thesis, where even if you see a big drop, I think the higher the valuation, the more risk and the more volatility you are expected to see, right? Anything around 500 to 600, that's where I feel like you would have to sit back and think and be like, is this a price target I really want to get into? We've just seen these growth stocks right now where they jumped up to about 40, over 30 price to sales ratio and kind of pulled back a nice amount. So I kind of want to remind people that that did happen, and the same thing can happen here with Coinbase. Anything over 650, that's about over 30 price to sales ratio. That to me is insane, right? Completely insane, and would not even think about touching it. So like I said, for me personally, I don't know yet if I would get into it. I have to probably look a little bit more. I do believe it's going to be very volatile and might give me better buying opportunities compared to the initial purchase. I feel like the initial day is just going to skyrocket and it's just going to be super, super volatile. Everybody's just buying it up. I think within the next 6 months, similar how we've seen a lot of these recent IPOs, give us a nice buying opportunity and just have everything stable, kind of be stable. We get to see a little bit more of how Q2 is doing. We get to see a little bit more how the overall crypto market is doing. So I don't, at the moment, I'm not thinking about purchasing an IPO, but I do think anything below 450 might be the one with the lowest risk because you bought in at a nice price. I don't know if we would even see $450 though. There is a possibility it can jump a lot higher than that. Anything about over 500 to 600, it's more like, am I really bullish in it? Should I jump in? Maybe I should jump in with a small position. Anything over 600, would be like no go. This is where it definitely ends. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Let me know, what are your thoughts? What are going to be the opening prices? And what are you going to enter at? So take care, guys. Have a good night and see you next time.